everybody. Welcome back. Episode 28 of the Legends and Dragons podcast here from the Legends Lair, Hurst, Texas. Chance Burleson.
Jimmy Clark.
Woo! Hey, who do we have here today?
We have Matthew Crittenden. What is your middle name?
Lee.
Lee, that's
It's on my
right.
Facebook.
I know. Shh, quiet down. Matthew Lee Crittenden. The one and only.
The one and only.
I can't believe it took me so long to think about, like, holy cow, we should have Matt on the podcast.
No, it didn't take it long at all. It took you like a few episodes in, like after Wheeler.
After Wheeler, because Wheeler does personal training.
Yeah.
And we talked about all my various injuries, and I was like, yeah, so Matt, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we should have Matt on the podcast.
Yeah.
Set.
Yeah, no, it was good. Hey, man, you look all clean.
Dude, oh my gosh, you're...
I was going to say,
Okay, so
I missed the long beard.
Yeah. So you have got to meet Wasim's dad, Elias.
Okay.
He owns Casablanca Cuts, just like a block up the road.
Okay.
He is from Algeria, and they have an old school barber shop. And there's a guy there named
Like the
Yazan.
blade.
Dude, straight razor shave.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm not this handsome. Like I'm not.
But you are, though.
But no, but when I do it myself,
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I'm like Sloth from the Goonies, you know? But Yazan managed to do this, so y'all have to go get a straight razor shave.
It looks like it's like almost faded.
And I know, it is. It is. He did that.
Looks good, man.
Because the Kovars are coming in this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And so I have to look pretty because I really try to impress them.
We should have that. Why do we have the co-bars on the podcast?
Dude, they're way out of our league. They're like super.
But it's always a no unless you ask.
That's true. No, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You should. You know what? Go ahead and ask. Hey, Matt, before you came in, I called 911 on you, by the way, buddy.
Why is that?
Yeah, because he stole my arms and my six-pack.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, we have a fitness guy. He stole my arms and my six-pack.
I don't know about the six-pack part. It's been, I think it's like been a consistent bulk for like 2 years.
Man, so how long have you known Chance?
Man, okay. It's been 23 years, something like that.
Yeah.
How old were you? You said you were...
I was like 5 or 6.
Yes.
Something like that.
When you started, yeah.
Before any of this.
Oh, yeah. This did not exist.
Right.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
all satellite locations.
So he started, I think it was the South Fort Worth School, wasn't it?
Well, I first met you at the Hurst Rec Center.
At the Hurst Rec Center.
In the racquetball room.
Right.
Where a racquetball room that echoes everything is a place that he needs to be in.
Right. Because I'm not loud enough.
Right.
And then, but then y'all did train at the South Fort Worth location for a while. Yeah, this is outbound karate.
Okay.
There's not a lot of people around who know outbound karate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, you mentioned outbound, like when we were just talking for the podcast.
So the first iteration of this school was J. Pat Burleson Karate. That was the first school that I bought from Dad when I was 17. And then that became Colleyville Family Karate. And then that became Outbound Karate. And that was just satellite locations. Dad and I had this great business model. Honestly, it was right in line with what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love this school and I love my students. But I got to tell you, I have never been as financially stable as I was when I ran satellite schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's almost no overhead.
Exactly. Your overhead is a percentage of your income.
Right.
So if you make more money, you have a higher overhead. If you make less money, you have a lower overhead. But none of my overhead here cares how many students I have. It's the same no matter how big the school gets, which is a brick and mortar problem.
Yeah.
Right? So he met me during the outbound phase.
So here, this is good questions for her. I know I've had some questions about people wanting to start their own gyms and small business stuff. These are the guys today. I don't have my own business.
I think it's a mistake. No, I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't do a borrowed space concept and be successful at it, don't open a brick and mortar school.
Okay.
The only reason you would open a brick and mortar school is if you can feasibly financially make a borrowed space concept work.
The smaller your business model is, the better.
Yes. So I'm not saying you can't make something like this work. I've made this work.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've had rough times,
Right.
you know.
Well, you've been here for it. But
I say we, like,
right. Well, you've witnessed it.
yes.
But the other thing is that I was wildly successful on the borrowed space concept. So if you cannot have like you know what borrowed space is, right?
Yeah.
If you can't have a church or a rec center program and really do well at it, a brick and mortar thing is just going to be a money pit. You're just going to hemorrhage money.
Yeah.
Okay. And that transition is hard.
It's very
Well, let's
hard.
talk about the transition for you. What made you? Okay, so first of all, yours is, and you almost screw up. What's the name of your fitness?
My Fitness Made Simple.
My Fitness Makes Simple. What made you decide to run your own fitness thing?
Well, so I was working at any time. I was their regional fitness director, and I hated it just because I hate people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
But I was doing it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for a while. And then COVID shut us down, and then we opened back up in May, and I was like,
May
2020.
Okay, 2020.
Yeah, and in August of 2020, I left, and I spent that time during the shutdown repairing a home gym that my parents were very gracious enough to let me use. They have a building in their backyard.
I've worked out in that.
Yeah, that's right. And I, I mean, man, it was filled all the way to the top, all the way to the back with a bunch of storage stuff, 30 years,
Yeah.
And I cleaned it out, moved everything around. My mom's like, please don't throw that away. And I'm like, don't worry, you have all the say. And it's basically just sitting out in the yard.
Yeah.
But I, furbished it with equipment, started advertising, and then we opened back up in May of 2020. And I was like, bye, I'm out of here. And that's when I started.
Okay.
And then I started my online training simultaneously.
Oh, okay. So you do online training as well.
So you started that at the same time, the online at the same time as opening up that back gym.
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you do? What do you mean by online training? So what do you do? Walk me through that.
So I have an app, and actually, Chance can attest.
I am the best person to witness what he's about to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I have an app, and basically you have your calendar, you have your profile, and all your stats in there and everything. And you can use it. You don't have to use it to its fullest degree, but you can attach your meals to it, stuff like that. But basically, I post a workout, I build it customized, and the videos are mostly me. There's videos in the program already, but I build most of the workouts based on personal needs. Chance had some personal needs, and so I made videos for him. And then I post onto a workout, and I set the sets, the reps, the rest time. We talk about how many days a week you want, stuff like that, and I just build out your workout. And then he goes through and completes it, watches the video if he needs to for reference. Plugs in the weights that he used. If I told him to use 20 pounds and he couldn't, and he did 15, or if he did and he was able to actually do 30, he plugged in 30. I'm able to build upon that for the next workout.
Oh, okay.
And then he completes it. I see it's completed. And then, some days, you get busy and you can't do it. So he'll just do it the next day or something. It's that easy.
Do you find it pretty successful, the online side of it?
Very.
Is it more successful to do online versus doing?
I think more people want in person, but I say that, if there were 10 people right here in front of me, I think 8 of them would want in person, but the potential to grow further because there's no limit with online.
Yeah.
So I have more online clients
Okay.
than I do in person. Right now, I have about 10 in person and about 30 online.
So is it a monthly subscription to the podcast, or me to the podcast? To the
I mean, it could,
Listen, it's not all about you, Jimmy.
but it turns into a podcast when I call them.
yeah, I bet. How many clients do you have?
So right now, about 41, 42.
Man,
Dude.
that is phenomenal.
Well, think about it this way. The word that you're looking for, that is a word that I've just now started understanding because I'm learning digital marketing. I
Yes.
hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
That's
But
true.
I
Yes.
hate it.
I know you do.
But I spend 2 hours a week on Zoom calls with my new South African best friend who is teaching me digital marketing, and the word is scaling.
Scaling.
Okay?
What does that
You
mean?
you can't scale in-person clients beyond a certain point.
Right. You're limited.
Well, he only has so much time.
Right.
If he has 8 people that want in-person,
Yeah.
can you do all 8 of those in one day? I mean, maybe.
Maybe, but then what else do you got time for?
Right.
Yeah.
He can do 8 times 8 in one day, if he doesn't have to stand there over every one of them,
Right.
Yeah.
you
Because
know,
I'm not there with him in person
at all.
He clicks on the workout and then he hits start and it walks him through it.
Dude, it is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let me tell you why I decided, and I can't believe it took me so long to do this, but I have been don't eat that.
I know I should. Let's talk about this. I haven't. Go ahead.
I'm a personal trainer.
My personal trainer said I need to
Yeah.
it out. Okay.
So, right here. So I've been in shape. I've been fat. I have been broken. But I have been active my entire life. I've never not worked out. I've never not tried. I now sometimes I've not looked like I worked out, but I've always worked out. And every skill that I have came from somebody better than me.
Yeah.
Right? Every martial arts skill I have, I didn't teach myself. Again, the only thing I know how to do, I taught myself, was guitar.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't actually need a teacher. You just have to look, you just have
YouTube,
whatever.
yeah.
Right. I don't know why I thought, out of everything I know how to do, that I should just instinctively know how to walk in a gym and pick up weights and do it right. I just assumed it's not that complicated. I'll go do it.
Yeah.
And I'm super old. I'm 51, about to be 52. But it was just this year that I reached out to you. And I'm like, I think this is why I'm always hurt. I'm always hurt because I'm trying to teach myself how to do a thing that I've never been taught to do.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to him. Not only am probably stronger and in better shape than I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
I probably am.
I love hearing
Yes.
But he's rehabbed my injuries
Yeah.
in ways like this is a skill I didn't know you had. Like when I got the brachial neuropathy, right? What happened was my neck got tweaked in jiu-jitsu or something, whatever. It could have been anything.
We'll say jiu-jitsu.
He said football and jiu-jitsu are
We're
the
gonna keep
two-
this PG.
You said those are the two culprits,
Yeah.
football and jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, my head gets hit a lot and I get choked a lot, so it could be either one.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use my arm. I tried to do push-ups and I couldn't pick myself up.
Okay.
And so of course, YouTubed it. And I was like, I think this is what it is. He's like, great, let's get on a FaceTime. And then he got me on video trying to do different things. He goes, yeah, it's a burner injury. And he's like, this is what I want you to do. And I got a medical massage person who was really good, and I got some relief from the pain.
Right.
I didn't get any functionality back.
Right.
And so he's like, all right, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go in the gym. You're going to do your arm like this. You're going to do your arm like this. You're going to pat your you know what I mean? You're going to
rub your stomach.
You're going to grab a dumbbell and stuff that made no sense to me.
Yeah.
And something that I had read was like a 9-month rehab was like 60 days.
So
Like he rehabbed it.
So what did you go to school for that? How did you learn all these tricks?
Yeah. So school, so for exercise science with a focus on motor skills and rehab.
Okay.
And then I have just, your normal certified personal trainer certification is outside of school. Corrective exercise specialist, performance enhancement specialist, and then nutritionist as well.
Okay. So what school?
UTA.
So you went to UTA for that? Man. So let's talk about nutrition hey, Nikki, by the way, I'm eating the candy corn. Thank you. So
What?
Did you bring it?
No, someone brought it for me.
You're doing her a huge favor if you eat those.
I shouldn't. But since Miriam doesn't watch this anyway, I don't really care. Yeah, my wife doesn't watch it.
But in case she is, it's okay. It's right. He's only eating half the bag.
Well,
Our friend Vanessa brought it because she watched last week's podcast.
did
I
you?
think she's the one that's watching the podcast.
Matt, have you watched the podcast?
I've been going back and watching the episode.
2 people.
Okay.
We got 2 people. That's amazing. All right, let's talk about nutrition.
Okay.
I have this friend. Where this friend loves sugar,
Well done.
loves salt. My friend is getting a little bit older. He's 44 years old. Looks like me.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Gorgeous.
gorgeous. Blood work's good. Right, so I mean,
Your friend's blood work.
I'm sorry. My friend's blood work from his oncologist is good. Everything's good. However, it's starting to creep up in some areas that I have to
He has to.
He has to.
He has to.
watch.
Right.
Right. Blood pressure still normal, within the normal range, but it's starting to kind of creep up.
We're talking like A1C, blood pressure.
Just they do all the blood, like the LDL, the HDL,
Oh, yeah.
the blah blah blah. I go through.
He
goes through all the.
Listen,
This is horrible.
you're the worst liar ever. Listen, you get committed to the lie, all right?
At least he Googled photos of a wreck on the highway.
That's true. That's true. Hey, let's take a minute.
They were lies. They were lies.
We started late. Mr. Burleson,
Yes.
why did we start late, sir?
I was on the express lane. Matt called me. He's like, I'm here. Door's locked. I'm like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And then I saw brake lights on the express lane.
Yeah.
There was a wreck. Ambulance, firefighter come through. And y'all can Google that this actually happened on the entrance to Airport Freeway in North Richmond Hills on the express lane. Something happened.
So
Fact check me.
let me ask this question though. Like you sent a text, it was like, "Hey, I'm stuck in traffic on the express lane." And I was like, "Okay, I believe you." But then you sent me a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you? Why?
I need that big. We need to reverse image it.
Yeah.
Because of the number of times in my life that I've said I'm stuck in traffic, but I overslept and I wasn't stuck in traffic. I've said that. Do you know how many times I've said that?
No,
Half a million
7,000
times. I've seen
And so you sent pictures down to
almost as many times as I can't come in today because I'm sick.
Right. Let me go find one of my old iPhones. I think I've got about 300.
Well, this is the most horrible picture because it's sent from Google Images.
Oh, it does not.
Not just messing.
Let me see.
Yeah, did you get the picture back?
Anybody that-
You sent me the picture. I'm like,
Okay, that's believable.
All right.
Yeah, listen, anybody that abandons a lie halfway through with the health thing, you can't trust the guy.
No, yeah.
All right.
So what? So she's been doing low sodium stuff for me because apparently my wife wants me around a little bit longer. So what are some tricks, nutrition tricks, for someone who loves sugar, someone who loves salt? Like what can they grab?
Well, a lot of the times your body's in balance, like with like the micronutrients, and so I always tell people, and this is not a fix-all, but this is a way to help, like curb the craving.
And use small words for me, by the way.
Okay.
Explain to you like I'm fine. Micronutrient, all those.
So we have like minerals, vitamins, stuff like that we need. There's a thing called sea salt, Himalayan Celtic sea salt. It has, I believe, 88 of the 92 minerals that our bodies need for survival. And so if we're low on different minerals, our body, like we're deficient basically, our body craves the unhealthy things. And so when you take and you get those minerals in, it can kind of help curb those cravings basically.
And you said, what sea salt you said?
Yep, unrefined sea salt.
Okay.
And it's usually comes in big crystals. You can take literally just like a little pinch of it, eat it 2-3 times a day. It'll help you be hydrated. It'll help give you all the minerals that you need, or most of them.
Huh. Well, let me grab another candy corn as that.
You're like, I'm gonna get on Google after this.
Yeah.
This will fix this right up.
So I know that there's some, obviously, like grapes, strawberries, cantaloupe, something to curb the candy corn sugar.
Right. I mean, and there's an element with like curbing the sugar part. They've actually proven that is just as addictive as cocaine.
Dude, how many times have we said that on the podcast?
It is the great drug of this generation.
Yeah.
And it is a conversation no one wants to have.
Right.
Except us.
Here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing. At no point in either of the 4 of our lives were we ever given the information that sugar is okay. Like no one ever said, yeah, eat all the Snickers bars you want. No one ever said that.
Right.
We know that the food is killing us. It is giving us cancer, heart. Do you know what the number one thing that feeds cancer cells is?
What's that?
Sugar.
You know what?
And do you know what sugar gives you? It gives you cellular energy, which is called ATP.
Yes.
And cancer loves ATP.
Yeah. Like it is, and again, this is not hidden information.
Right.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
Right.
Like people know bad food is bad.
But you get those commercials with like the Special K cereal box,
Right.
that has like maybe 30 grams of sugar in it. But it's
Part of this balanced breakfast.
Yeah, but this is balanced breakfast and it'll help this one thing. But don't worry, it'll kill you over here.
Right. And so, what I've been told, and you might have been the one that told me, is to shop around the outside of the grocery store.
Yeah.
Don't go to the inside.
I think you're something else, but that is a good.
You know, all the real food is on the outside.
Yeah.
Also,
And
the cat food.
the cats.
So the cat food is also on the outside.
Which is good for you.
Which
It's on
is
the
good.
left edge.
So Chance, you just blew your theory. Everything but the cat food are on the outside of the store.
And you know what? If you were starving and there was nothing else to eat,
I'd eat cat food.
Would you?
Fritzies?
I'd eat a person. If I'm-
sometimes I spot them out and I'm like, you have a good calf.
yeah.
I'm saving you for the future.
Like in the Lord of the Rings, what about the legs? I don't need those. I need tight skin.
So did you see the picture Matt sent us on Facebook Messenger? It was like, is this you guys? They've got the podcast. Like, hey, let's start a podcast. And the cops was like, and handcuffs.
I was like, was this y'all when y'all started?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we thought. So here's something funny though. We saw a Bluebell ice cream truck right before we started.
Yeah.
I told Matt, I was like, hey man, I see the candy corn, the Bluebell ice cream, and so I had kidney cancer, and one of the things that Miriam asked the doctor was like, was it candy corn and Bluebell? I gave him kidney cancer.
Specifically those
Yeah,
things.
specifically. The doctor was like, no. She goes, are you sure? I was like, I could eat that much candy corn and Bluebell.
Well, in all seriousness, and this is the sad thing, right? If you try to give up heroin, you will get overwhelming social support from your friends, from your family. No one wants you to inject cocaine.
Right.
No one wants you to be like a real alcoholic that gives yourself cirrhosis of the liver. Like, no one wants that
There's
for you.
groups to help you with that.
Dude, and everybody's like cheering you on, like, yes, don't do the cocaine, like, don't do the heroin, please stop meth, right? No one wants you to eat right.
Right.
No one.
And they give you
That
cookies.
no one,
They give you
no friends,
They give you candy corn.
no friends don't want you to eat a cookie. No friends don't want you to eat cake. It is one, and I get angry about this because it is so lonely. It is so lonely to make the decision to take care of yourself and to eat healthy because there's just no. And this is what baffles me. It's not like they don't know it's bad for you.
right.
Right.
No
But your
one thinks
birthday.
no one thinks that it's healthy, but they're like, you just a bite. Just a bite. No one's doing that with cocaine.
Right.
No one's just just one line.
Right.
It's New Year's.
Yes.
It's New Year's.
I got a new card.
Right.
It's my group day.
And so like I get upset about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how am I not? I feel like somebody that is a conspiracy theorist,
Yeah.
but is right,
Yeah.
and no one believes them, and no one wants to hear it.
Well, there's almost no way to get away from it. Too.
You can't.
Well, I mean, look at the foods from America compared to like the foods that are in Europe.
We've talked about that too with Alyssa. She was talking about the same thing on when she went to Japan. And the same thing, like the food here. Because I asked about the food, and of course on I think.
Yeah,
we asked
on
Andu
to
the same thing.
Ethiopia. Yeah, but
Yeah, we asked the same thing with the food. But you're right. Here in America,
I mean, you go look at the ingredients list, like just even looking at something unhealthy like Cheetos. You know, our ingredients list is this long. Theirs is like this long.
you shut your poor mouth.
yeah.
I'm gonna order you in some English Cheetos.
No, expensive. So that has been like talking to the doctor yesterday, and you can probably attest to this. You can't outwork a bad diet.
You cannot.
Right.
So let's talk about that for the diet side. Let's talk about someone like me who works shift work. Meal preps.
Biggest thing.
Tell me about meal. Like, how would you meal prep?
Well, so I have a lot of people that do shift work, and so the biggest thing for them is like say whatever your schedule is, but just for example, Sunday through Wednesday instead of Sunday through Sunday.
Okay.
Because by the time Friday comes around, you're like, I can't eat this again, you know, or something, or it's just been in my refrigerator for so long, like it's technically still good, but it's got that refrigerator, taste and texture to it. So I would say meal prep twice a week.
Okay.
One, you're not having to meal prep as much, but then you're also getting a little bit more fresh more often.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
And that seems to help people a lot.
What would you put in the meal prep?
I mean, I would do.
Let's say somebody is looking to lower their sugar or blood pressure. What would you put in or advise somebody to put in for?
Well, definitely protein can come from any source, really, like, fish, any kind of meat. Maybe not like McDonald's kind of meat, but, green beans, green leafy dark greens is what I want people to eat all the time. We're going to get to real quick, which I know you do, actually.
I do.
Yeah. But radishes, I love radishes because they're really good at cleansing out the blood.
Okay.
And that actually helps with blood flow, which will help with blood pressure.
I didn't even think about radishes.
Never dawned on me ever.
Radishes, okay.
When you season your food, cayenne pepper is actually almost medicinal kind of.
Really?
Well, I have to go back and watch this podcast and remember all the stuff you're telling me.
Right. Yeah. Everybody take notes.
Yeah. Take notes, everybody.
And cayenne pepper, you can actually, like, if you had a big gash on your calf, I would actually, and we were saying not anywhere near a hospital or anything like that. If I had cayenne pepper on me, which is funny enough, I usually actually do carry it with me. I would actually put cayenne pepper on your cut. I would close it up, and it doesn't burn.
Really?
Yeah. People think it does, but it actually doesn't burn.
So what does the cayenne pepper do?
Well, so it's smart. It helps your body clot where it needs to. And then inside your body, if you ingest it, it actually helps with blood flow and not clot. So it's a smart herb. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So radishes and cayenne pepper. And then, of course, the sea salt as well. We talked about. I do love meat. Well, I was going to say, I can tell because I have, on me other than eating the candy corn, dirt or getting on the mats. I tell people that I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I said, because you're going to figure that out once you're getting beat up by kids half your age.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to go like, you know what, I probably shouldn't eat that big old burrito. But I notice if I go to Chuy's, get their salsa and stuff, like my fingers will swell. And it's just...
It's that, and that's the other thing that the sea salt does is it have one of the, when your doctor tells you need a calcium pill, well, why do you need for your bone mineral density? Why do you need one pill or one mineral that makes up your bones when there's 12 minerals that make up your bones? So why take a calcium pill?
Yeah.
When there's out of the 12 minerals that bones need is in that sea salt and is in dark leafy greens like spinach.
Okay.
And so, it's stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. And what made me think of that was when you said you felt like, maybe bloated or like puffy after eating. Is a lot of it's the water retention because of the sodium in the food.
Yeah.
But with the sea salt, one of those minerals is magnesium. Magnesium loves to pull water into itself. And so when you have magnesium in your cells, it's going to pull water into the cells, therefore truly hydrating you and also helping get rid of the excess water. That's just kind of free flowing in your body.
That's so great.
We know some pretty smart.
I know. And
You can all fact check me.
right. What's really, really cool about this is, and so that I did this. There was a speaker at a convention. It was like an AA convention, and somebody gave me this disc of this lady. If y'all didn't know what a disc was, and so it was like this, and she talked about it. She said it's called the food frenzy, and so she was a dietary expert who treated people with eating disorders at treatment centers, and what she talked about was anorexia nervosa, bulimia, and compulsive overeating are actually the three heads of the same thing. It's actually the same disorder, right? And she said, not everyone has an eating disorder, but everyone on the planet has eating issues. Right. And the reason that she says that is because food represents something that it doesn't actually represent. And this comes from a time when there was scarcity, like the Great Depression or times throughout history. The reason they gathered together to eat was because there wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And if you didn't go to the table, you weren't getting any food.
Right.
Yeah.
And now...
Or you're going to have to get a little snack in the middle of the night by yourself.
Right. Well, no, there wasn't any in the middle of the night. So, like, if you didn't all, like a dog at the table, like, if you didn't do that, you didn't eat. And so over, like, hundreds of years, this has cultured us to go, well, we're breaking bread and we're bonding over meals when there's plenty of food. But notice no one's bonding over steamed broccoli. No one is bonding over stewed carrots. No one is bonding over anything but chicken fried steak, gravy, honey rolls. Like we bond. But Jimmy, that's the thing. It has emotionally come to represent something
They call
that,
it comfort food.
right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: do
someone
you
dies.
feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable when that's what you eat? Because I don't feel comfortable when I eat like that.
I feel miserable.
Yeah.
Like that.
So why are we calling it comfort food? It's comfort the way the first line of cocaine is comfortable.
Yeah.
But when your life falls apart later and you're in the hospital,
Yeah.
it's not comfortable.
Right.
And so,
You damaged your cells all those years. You damaged the insides of your body.
right. And so what Matthew has been talking to me about was the two sides of the coin of macros and micros.
Okay.
Like if I understand correctly, protein, fats, and carbs is macros, and then micro is everything else.
Right, basically.
But it's in the macros.
Right. Well,
Right.
and so you have to kind of, when you're looking at, your diet, you can't just say, okay, I need just simply protein, a carb, and some fat. Yes, you can, but you have to also think, okay, well, I can eat chicken, green beans, and whatever carb, come with that. But if you're only eating that all the time,
Right.
you may temporarily look really good and like slim down.
You're getting your macros.
You're getting your macros, but then you're going to feel like crap, like later on.
Yeah. Tell me about the macros then. So you got macros and micros.
So macronutrients are the big ones. And so, like you said, protein, carbs, fat.
Yeah.
And then all the other foods that are, minerals, vitamins and stuff that we get come from those macros basically. So micronutrients. So, again, like I was mentioning, I think it's like 92 minerals that our bodies need. Like why I mentioned the Celtic sea salt has 88 of those.
Yeah.
And so, just taking a little bit of salt, it comes from the earth. It literally comes from like on a beach on the sea.
Right.
Getting those micronutrients in is essential for brain chemistry, brain function, the cells in your body to reproduce, kill off cancer cells. Just on a micro scale, that's why we need those minerals. So you may be eating what you think is healthy, but then you've got people that are going to the hospital,
Sure.
sometime later, and they're like, well, man, it's crazy how this person, they were eating healthy all the time, they were working all the time, and now they've got cancer or they're dead, or they had a heart attack or whatever.
So do you know who Joel Furman is? The doctor on the East Coast that
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so fat, sick, and nearly dead. The Australian guy that came and he did the juiced fast for a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joel Furman in that documentary, Joel Furman was the doctor he visited first when he came to America.
Okay.
And so Joel Furman wrote the book Eat to Live. So he's a medical doctor. Yeah. So he's a medical doctor, but he treats people with cancer and heart disease and high blood pressure, but he treats them through diet. He doesn't treat, like his goal is to get them off the pills, right? And have you ever heard his acronym? Because it's right in line with what you're talking about. G-bombs. Green, and he goes, and in this order, this is what you should be eating the most of. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, seeds. In those, so seeds last, not seed oil.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. In that order, if your diet consists of like greens first, the most of that you should be eating bowls.
And most nutritionists will actually say that the absolute healthiest way to live is to start your day with a bunch of greens.
Yeah. And yes.
Is that what you do?
Does juicing the greens?
Yes, but you don't get the fiber. But yes, you get the nutrition,
Yeah,
especially
It can
slow,
change it.
the slow masticating juicer. Yeah, you're getting, and actually you're getting more.
I started juicing.
Yeah, you're getting more if you. This is what I did for the longest time with my green because I won't eat them. I won't. I won't eat them. No, I won't eat them. No, I won't eat them. No.
But you'll drink them.
I don't drink anything. Here's the thing.
Wait a minute. No. It's a PG.
Quite easy.
It's a PG podcast.
And wine is sweet too. Just straight.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
But no, I'm joking, but also not joking.
Yeah. Well, because I won't sip coffee.
Savor it. Yeah.
So what I would do is I took 3 pounds of kale, spinach, just everything on the list of the most nutritionally dense. Okay. You've seen that thing health equals like calories divided by nutrition, something like that. But basically, you want a nutrient dense, calorie poor food, right?
Yes.
And I would just put them in the juicer, and I had like this giant protein shaker, and I would just slam it, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
but I looked like I had superpowers.
Yeah.
Like my skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing what it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked so well that I quit doing it.
I was waiting for the shoe to drop.
That is true. I haven't done it in like a year.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back on it.
Well, I found the powdered spirulina stuff, and I'm like, my skin kind of has the
Kind of has maybe it's a slower roll.
and I don't have to juice it. You know, I
okay.
just dump it in there.
How often should you eat during the day?
Well, I mean, that depends on the person, what their goals are. You know, maybe they have IBS and they can't eat as often or something like that. I prefer people to eat every few hours.
Okay.
So usually about 3 main meals a day, and then 2 or 3 really like small to medium snacks kind of in between.
Okay.
I just like the body to consistently be flowing, you know, the not to get gross, but you know, the bowels to be flowing and everything.
Poison. Get that poison out of you.
Yeah, literally. But that's my take on that.
Okay.
You
So
know, I
3
don't-
meals and then snack every couple hours between those meals.
And for some people that doesn't work. You know, I know that, but the reason why I say that is because our bodies can only absorb roughly, and it varies depending on like from you to Nikki to you. But you know, if Jeff Rao was here, you know, 6'10", you know, 6'10", something.
He's such a giant, and his arms drag the
I know
ground.
he's like, you know, I mean, he probably needs to eat like 10 meals a day. But you know, for him, maybe a little bit different from what I'm about to say. But generally, everybody can only absorb about 500 calories per mealtime.
Okay.
And so, if you're, you know, this is one thing that Chance and I've been talking about a lot is, you know, if you get 1 meal in a day, and they're like, well, I need 2,000 calories a day, so I'm going to get 1,500 calories in right now, and then like one little snack later. Well, your body only took in about 500 calories of that for energy, and it's stored 1,000 away. And that's so you think, well, I only eat 1 meal a day, but somehow I'm getting fat. You know, it's like, well, but it's storing because it can't use it
Oh.
in that time frame.
Yeah,
Sure,
makes sense.
sure.
So I have a 13-year-old son. He wants to bulk up. Obviously, I mean, probably all young boys.
Yeah, right.
He's growing into his man body. What would you suggest? Like, what kind of exercising? What kind of diet?
Well, what's his body type? Is he thicker, skinnier? Is he your height?
Not he's not my height yet.
He's a mesomorph.
What's that?
Mesomorph?
He's a mesomorph.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means, but yeah, he's a.
I know
He's
a mesomorph.
he's you.
Yeah,
You're a mesomorph.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a Mesa Smurf.
I'm so proud of you for knowing that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now tell me what a metho smurf is.
Well, you have endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph.
Okay.
And endomorph is typically stockier build naturally.
Okay.
And usually typically shorter too, on the shorter side. Ectomorph is you're typically skinnier, lengthier, maybe even taller. That goes with that. And then mesomorph is you're typically around average height. Not to say you're tall. I know you're extremely tall. You're taller than me. But your average height, you have more of an average build, and you're athletic, and you can put on muscle, but you can also put on fat easily too.
Yeah.
But you can lose fat easily too, or lose muscle.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're pretty, you know, athletic. I would say that's what most people would consider the more ideal body type.
Okay. So yeah, that's probably about talent.
So you can say he's a mesomorph.
Yeah, so a dwarf is an endomorph.
Okay. So dwarf is
A man is a mesomorph.
mesomorph.
An elf is an ectomorph.
That's a good way to think about
Okay,
it.
so tall, slender, and very, you know, okay, we've all...
Legolas
example.
Yes, right there. So we all know people who complain about, I just can't put on any weight, and we want to murder them when they say that.
Yeah.
Okay? That's an ectomorph. Okay?
So that's
they
a
don't
Pierce.
get...
That's a Pierce.
Yes, Pierce is an ectomorph.
Pierce is an ectomorph. You're ecto smurf there.
He can't get fat,
Yeah.
but he also can't bulk up.
Yeah.
It can't. It's
Right.
It's hard.
Right.
So
There's different processes you go
An
through.
endomorph gains fat faster than anybody, and even at their most athletic, they're still pretty stock. They're still kind of rotund,
But they're strong.
very strong,
Okay, so
very strong.
Endomorph.
And then a mesomorph is in between the two.
Okay.
Which is why I said it's maybe considered the more ideal body.
Okay. So that's what he is then. He's
Yeah.
13. And he wants to obviously put on weight for sports and of course jiu-jitsu and martial arts. So if he was your client, like let's say, hey, Tom, go work with Matt, what would you suggest to him?
The first thing I would look at is his calorie intake. So I would say, okay, are his calorie needs, not even just what he's currently eating.
Right.
Because at that point, it's almost irrelevant. It's like, because we're going to change it.
Yeah.
So I would say, okay, what's your age, your height, your weight? Let me calculate out your calories, okay? And then we go through the process, and there's a formula that I follow. And then we get what's called your BMR or RMR, basal metabolic rate, or resting metabolic rate. So that's how many calories that you burn in a 24-hour period doing nothing based on your current height, age, and weight. And so that's like the baseline. So now we got to multiply that times your activity level. So if he's doing a bunch of athletics, look, there's a another formula for that basically. But anyway, you take that number that fits. Is he inactive? Is he sedentary? Is he active but not doing structured workouts? Is he doing structured workouts 1 to 3 times a week? So I go through that process and I just ask the questions. I don't make y'all do it.
Yeah.
And then I get the answer, and I find that number, and I multiply that times his RMR or BMR. And then I find, okay, then I multiply that, that gives me the calorie intake that he needs.
Okay.
And so, but that's to typically maintain the body that he currently has based on that activity level.
Okay.
So now you say, okay, you're going to bulk up and put on some weight. So now we need to add some calories. We need to put you in a calorie surplus. And so just for example, we'll say that we calculated it to 2,300 calories. I would say, okay, the max you want to go to is an extra 500 above or below. Because then it gets too dangerous. Then you're putting on too much, or you're losing too much in a not safe way. So for him, I would say probably add an extra 300 calories. So I would say then if your RMR is 2,300, then I would add 300, and then he'd be at 2,600.
Okay.
And then he would be able to put on a little bit extra muscle. Most likely at his age, he probably wouldn't put on extra fat, especially because he's working out. He's doing the muscles, his metabolism is getting more. He may look a little stockier at some point, but he's definitely going to bulk up.
Okay. So the app. So you do all this on the app as well, right?
Yeah. Well, so I just personally go through and calculate it, and then I just give you the meal plan based on that.
And the exercise plan as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, do you see how smart he is?
Guys, listen. I know that we have appointed you to Wheeler. I know that we appointed some other friends as well, to like Bulger for his brain as well.
Yeah.
Guys, go check out the app. And I'll put it all online too on the
My Fitness Made Simple.
Yeah, because we already did once. I'll do it again, and I'll try to put it in the YouTube thing. So you guys go check it out, man. Matt's wicked smart.
But so the cool thing is, because I'm not only the hair club president, like I'm also a client.
Like that photo in the top left.
Yeah. So like what he's describing is a thing. It's a service that I utilize twice a week.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure you would do it for people if they were like, well, I want 6 days a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I do it twice a week. I need you to understand this. I need everybody in the studio audience to hear me when I say everything that Matt tells me to do, I don't want to do any of it. I don't want to do one single thing, and I'm vocal about it.
Yeah.
I am very. But
you should be.
Yeah. I complain.
I'll just get a random call out here. No.
Yes.
And then I hang up, and I'm like,
yes.
It was just chance.
But here's the thing. Just like Hanshi, who I'm picking up from the airport today.
Yeah.
Are you coming to Black Belt class tomorrow?
No, I have hope.
Why do you hate me? Anyways, so
Why don't you love me?
So Hanshi swears by this of mentally locking in the feeling I have the second I walk out of the gym. I am a superhero when I walk out of the gym, because it's not like, by the way, I 100% disregard your stretch at the end. and not because I don't. No, not
And
because,
so does most people.
No, not because I don't believe in it, but because I have one that is a 30 to 40 minute stretch that I do that gets. I mean,
And
do.
that's okay.
I do yours.
Yeah.
As part of this giant thing, because you've got it like a minimum of a 20-second hold.
Yeah.
I do a minute hold
love
on everything.
Yeah.
But stretching like that and then doing the workout, which is brutal. It's so hard to do.
Yeah.
But the endorphins, like there's a biochemical good feeling.
Yeah.
But it's more than that, man.
Right.
This body is as imperfect as it is, as
your body
Poli
looks like a
syndrome,
Greek god.
as
Is he like a Greek god body?
I do this again. I agree.
I am two different Greek gods. I am
The face that
I am
turns,
Perseus and Pan. You know, but as imperfect as it is,
I have a story to tell about that later.
yeah. It's the only one I'm ever gonna get, and it is such a gift to just crap on it by not taking care of it.
Right.
I mean, how ungrateful can you be?
Right.
To go, yes, I was given this beautiful life, you know, with all of these natural gifts that all of us have. I am just gonna crap on it and not take care of it at all.
Well, and that's why I've been proud of you in the last several months that we've been training.
Right.
Is because, you know, I know a lot of your history.
Yes.
And I know a lot of your extremes that you did past a lot of that history.
Yes.
You know, and I know that a lot of those things, I mean, I remember back when you were drinking myrrh, you know?
When I did the 10-day, that's what started the 10-day fast.
Right.
Which I still believe, but I just found out 10 days is not necessary.
Right.
86 hours.
Yeah.
You get the benefit, like you get the cancer reduction and the plaque reduction in 86 hours.
Yeah.
And so you tripled that.
Yeah. No, I won't ever do a 10-day fast again. It's hard. It's hard.
So what's the story you're gonna say about the Greek god stuff?
Oh, well, I was going to say, I remember the funniest thing, I mean, he probably still says it to this day, but, you know,
I do.
I mean, I don't think I think every so often you may add like a new joke, like, oh, that's
Right.
good.
No, it's the same stuff.
Yeah. But I could write a book of all those jokes. I know them so well. But, you know, on the mat, if like a kid's not listening or something, you know, he's like, bear listen or else this is what's going to happen.
That's right.
You know, or something like that.
My dad broke my fingers.
Yeah.
I didn't listen 5 times. That's yeah.
Then I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids are like,
Yeah. I love it.
yep, still use that joke.
I used to try that one time, like just like lowering.
Right.
And it's like, it just didn't have to.
It's like, hey.
Oh man, well listen, hey, don't worry if he doesn't like any of it. He didn't even want to do this podcast.
I don't want to do the podcast either.
Yeah,
You know?
he did. Yeah, at all.
You know, but sometimes it's like, but that's what I was saying I was proud of him for. Actually, this was my point is I know Chance really well. I've known him for a long time. And I know that a lot of times when you don't want to do something, you don't do it. And he's become the person to do the thing that's hard.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's good for him or good for his business or good for his life. And so that's why I've been very proud.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. But I'll tell you the big motivator behind it was that I hit this kind of spiritual dilemma. And here's what it is. And you know this. Like there's nobody in my life that might be more aware of what I'm about to say than you. Okay? My life has been filled from the time that I was 15 years old with people that thought I was a really big deal, that really admired me and looked up to me. And I have not always deserved that. The people in my school, the students that I have, the men and women that I serve deserve someone who is a lot closer to who they imagine them to be than I used to be. And that means doing the hard stuff that I don't want to do. Because, Matt, I am demanding that they do it.
Right.
I'm on the mat saying, look, you will do one more push-up, probably 5, but you know, like you will do this.
Yeah.
And it is a form of service to pull out the best in them.
Right.
But how dare I not do that myself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so you've heard the joke that I just want to be the person my dog thinks I am.
Yeah.
Man, I want to be the person my students think I am. And I'm closer than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Well, it shows.
And again, I'm never going to be 100% there because we make things up in our heads about the people that we look up to. Like, we're like, he's perfect. No, he's not.
Right.
He's a dude.
And he never will be perfect.
No.
But he can be the example that I need.
But it can strive to be worthy of
Yes.
it. And that's what it is.
Yes.
You know?
You were asking me before, like, about the podcast, like the word, like, how did the podcast go?
yeah.
Right. So I've had this idea. I was like, man, I know some pretty cool people. I mean, I would love to start a podcast, but I'm not going to just be me in front of the camera and just go,
Right.
hey, everybody, it's Chairman Clausy. And I was like,
Like the guy with the beard, the white beard. You know the guy?
that would be me.
I want him on the podcast.
Yeah. And I want to come back for that.
Right.
So I pitched it to a couple buds in the martial arts world, and they were like, yeah, they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't have the time. And so I sat on it for about a year or so, and I was like, Chance. I said, why have I not asked Chance to do a podcast? So I was like, hey man, you want to do a podcast? And Chance with that, and he goes, yeah. I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, that's pretty much how it was. He goes, yeah. I was like, okay. And then he was like, hey Jimmy, come on, we're gonna tonight. Or we drove to Sonic, right? So we were just talking back and forth. Of course, the time just flew right by for Chance and I because we have good energy and
Good chemistry. Yeah.
Good chemistry. Some people have told us some things. So
I can see it.
We're
I've seen it on the previous podcast.
So we're 28 episodes in, which is even more crazy. Wow. And then for, like I was telling you before, every week the numbers keep going up. And people have asked me like, hey, well, so where do you have a chance see you have vision for the podcast? And I tell them like, we don't.
Every podcast, I'm assuming, is the last one.
Well,
That's right.
well, have you developed a vision for the podcast like over time?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's just get on here and talk.
Yeah.
Get in here and talk, and then we just invite people who are a lot smarter than us.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like for the next, I think you're like number 2, like we have like a month and a half of people
Like, yeah, I know.
lined up.
Wow, that's great.
So you should invite whoever you're picking up. I forget from the airport.
Well, they're not going to. Yeah.
You met the co-bars, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Hanshi is teaching black belt class tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much water intake should I have today? I try to drink it. I mean, I try to drink a lot of these.
Yeah.
What about 6 gallons?
About 6 gallons of water.
You need to walk around with those gallons.
Just like what you,
Like the things that you
just like those buckets. What are those buckets? Like 5-gallon buckets. So
Like that. Yeah.
you just can't.
But no, just take a little strong go.
Yeah, just a little bucket. But yeah, what's your suggestion for?
I would say definitely at some point, definitely more than 90 fluid ounces of water a day.
For everyone, or is it body size?
That's the thing, is it depends on body, it depends on expenditure.
Yeah, it depends on how much you're sweating. Too, right?
Well, that's why, like when you're working out, you want to sip water to try to replace it, as you're losing it, because you're losing it faster than you're going to intake it.
Yeah.
But, obviously you don't want to guzzle in the moment, but, if you're working out 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, you definitely need to be up around 130, 150 fluid ounces of water.
Okay.
A day.
What how many this is?
I think that's probably close to like 30, right?
I had 32 ounces.
Yeah.
So I try to drink. I probably drink too much then.
How much?
I try to drink at least 5 of those.
No, I think
that's good. That's 150. Yeah. You do jujitsu.
Yeah, no, I would say for you.
Not well.
But you do it.
But you sweat like someone who does it well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I sweat well.
Actually, I would say that if you're not good at jujitsu, you should drink more water.
yeah. That's a good point.
Right.
That's a good point.
Drink more. Yeah, I sweat a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sweat.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
But like if you're like one of those highway construction workers,
Oh, yeah.
like if you're sitting out in the sun working, like you should be drinking a ton of
They should have
water.
cable packs, man. That's what they should have.
What?
Cable packs.
Yeah.
Just drink it all day and sip through it.
I think some of them do.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Super smart.
So as this has been fun.
It is, right?
We can have Matt on.
Well, yeah, we gotta have fun again.
As we're winding this down, a couple more questions. One is injury prevention for guys, because you joked. Well, we'll say the joke off the top but as we said before, but for guys say 40, 50 years old, injury prevention. Now, I'm a knucklehead. He's a knucklehead. even though we're hurt, we'll still get the mats and do something.
Yeah.
So let's say we're injured while we're returning. Obviously, rest, but still stay active, right? So tell me your thoughts on injury prevention.
Well, as a third and up and coming knucklehead,
Welcome to the club.
I would say when it comes to like the weights, because the weights are really good for strengthening. Obviously, we know our muscles, but our tendons or ligaments, our joints. And so the stronger those are, the less chance of injury. So the best way to do that, I mean, you don't even have to go to the gym. If you have 5-pound dumbbells at home, you may not think that, I'm not lifting heavy, so you may not think it's doing anything. But, just doing like, front delt raises here can strengthen that rotator cuff. The low weight, high rep is what strengthens the connective tissue. And so if you're doing something in the past, I mean, I've talked to people who they said they've done something simple, like be in the car and just reach back.
Yes.
They tore their shoulder out or something. Well, that tendon was obviously already weak. And so now imagine being on the mat doing jujitsu, being folded into a pretzel all the time. So the best thing for me, I think, is to say, stay hydrated. Okay, sure. Being dehydrated can actually simulate arthritis in your joints and increase pain. Sometimes when you're in pain, you kind of move a certain way to not feel the pain, and that can cause injury, and just simply cause injury anyway because you're dehydrated. Increase the reps that you're doing, like I would say 12 to 20 reps with the low weight on different exercises. I mean, even just the usual ones like the big movements, curls, chest stuff. Again, low weight. I cannot say this enough. Low weight, high reps, 12 to 20 reps, 3 to 4 sets each time. And that will, I'm telling you, you will see a major decrease in joint injury, elbow, shoulder, back, legs, knees.
So my fitness routine is I hit over 10,000 steps a day. I haven't missed since I've missed a couple of times due to ER visit or whatever, and a couple of times since 2018. So you would suggest we keep going, obviously get to 10,000 steps. Yeah. And then every day every day I do something, some sort of weightlifting, right? Whether chest, biceps, tries, or legs or something. What would a week be for, would you suggest that, or would you modify any of that? Because I want to hit that app, by the way. I'm absolutely, dude, I'm absolutely going to get that app. Because I want to get some. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff.
Well, have you ever been formally, classically taught how to lift weights? I wasn't either.
It was in the military.
Why did we think?
Lift weights.
But why did we think we could teach ourselves how to do it? Do something like that?
I have a wealth of knowledge here.
I know.
So,
but it's we say that and you think, man, I'm so stupid for not finding a professional. But me, I would do something else. If I didn't know martial arts, I would think, well, I can fight.
Everybody that doesn't know how to fight thinks they can fight.
Right? Yeah. I mean, but
I just see red.
I come out of it afterwards. I'm like, what did I just?
Yeah.
It's like
You read too many comic books.
I see red. Not knowing how to eat. Like I see red meat.
But but the funny thing is, we have fought people like that,
right?
Yeah.
And they are so. Like it's like a cat playing with a ball. I've had people who don't know how to fight that think they can fight,
right?
And I just play with them.
Yeah.
And then I realized I was that guy in the gym.
Right.
Yeah.
Until Matt taught me how to do it.
Right.
And it wasn't just about injury prevention. Like he literally. So the second I tore my fascia,
you told me.
I was like, all right, what do I do? He's like, get a boot, stay in it.
Yeah.
Don't take it off. And dude, it's 7.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't even injured.
Right.
Like I was real smart. I was like, the first day I didn't really do anything, But it's been a week and a half.
So you took off.
And slowly working back, it's like the injury wasn't even there, and I found out what it was. It was the knees over toes stuff.
Yep.
Do you like to do a lot of knees?
Well, so the knees over toes stuff, right? Okay. So it did great work for my knees.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
it really stretched out the.
Well, but I don't know if you know this, but it's largely lower leg stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no one has ever told me to work my tibialis before knees over toes.
Yeah.
So for 1.5 years, we've been doing knees over toes, and I've been grinding on my tibs and my calves, but not stretching them.
Yeah.
And so they got super strong and just pulled that fascia. And so now I'm stretching them 2 or 3 times a day. And that's
But also,
Because
let's,
at that point, you can just walk and all of a sudden it can just pop.
Exactly.
but also, let's also tell the audience though, even though you were in that boot, you just didn't do anything for 7 weeks.
No. And which is a risk, because that's one of the problems that I have is like, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I won't do
Well,
nothing.
yes.
And I'm eating
Right.
pizza.
Right.
You know, because of my foot. Because that makes total sense, right?
And well, and leg stuff, if you're talking about martial arts, I think you definitely kept it easier on that.
Yeah.
But like in the gym, there were certain things like leg extensions.
Yeah.
you know, like
We did hamstring curls, leg
Yeah.
extensions. I did the adductor and adductor.
It's just as long as he wasn't doing this with his.
Yeah.
with his
And so I did what I could. And Matt
Right.
tailored my workout for that.
Dude, this has been.
Isn't it
I have
smart?
a question.
Yep. Yes, you, young lady.
We have a question from our studio audience.
Yeah.
For injury prevention, do you recommend getting kicked in the head by a fully grown man's bare foot?
Yes, actually, because
If you're a 50-year-old.
because when you get his toenail stuck in your cheek, it actually helps you get exposed to the germs.
Right. And the other minerals that are not in the Himalayan sea salt
Are in the
there's only,
toenail.
yes. So it's 92 minerals.
Right.
88 are in the sea salt. The other four are in
the-
toenails.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. She is being snarky because I have been, it has been propositioned to me to go to Las Vegas and do a Kyokushin tournament
With no gear.
with no gear next year.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
And I have agreed,
Okay.
but I just found out that they do have a gear option. Yeah. And I think at 51, I'll be 52 by then.
Yeah.
That's the smart move.
Hey,
I should do it with gear.
So I agree.
You want to come to our party, by the way? We're going to rent out a skating rink.
Oh yeah, my birthday party.
December, baby.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
19th.
yeah.
And you're the
I'm the 15th.
The 15th.
So we're gonna rent out a skating rink, and we're gonna have. I'm not gonna have cake. I'm not gonna have cake. You are such. If you bring cake, I'm bringing meth, heroin, and cocaine. All right.
All right, so we're having a party, no cake.
So basically,
Okay.
no
Or
one's
heroin.
Or heroin.
So it'll be no fun.
or too much fun.
Or too much fun.
Yeah.
So you gotta come to our skate party.
I will.
So I'll
Yeah.
turn 52. They do want to go off to Vegas and go beat up some people wearing
Yeah.
gear.
But I think that's smart. If there's a gear option, I'll
yeah.
do gear.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Guys, listen, I'm going to. If there's
My
any
fitness
podcast-
made simple.
My Fitness Made Simple. If there's a podcast that you're going to listen to this one.
Yep.
This has been phenomenal. Matt, thank you so much for joining us here. Next week, I think, who do we have? Do we have Alyssa next week again?
What's great about your service is that if somebody heard this from Wisconsin,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, dude, absolutely.
yeah. You don't even have to be in Texas.
Yes. Or in Ethiopia or, wherever.
you will help people in Ethiopia.
Possibly. I need to talk to Andy first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we might want to cut down.
Wait, I will last question.
Oh, yeah.
Who's Legolas?
Oh, yeah. Who is
Who's
Legolas?
Legolas? That's Jaden Rogers.
Oh, no. I knew that actually. Who's
The queen?
the queen or whatever?
Yeah, Elf Queen.
That's Sam McCain.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you used Alyssa twice.
No. This is Arwen.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. Guys, listen, that right there as well, the QR code. Help support my friend here, Chance. This is some pretty cool stuff. Anyways, guys, listen, nothing but love. Go subscribe, go like, listen to this podcast, guys. Love you guys.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah.